Hello and welcome to the Law School Playbook. Today our topic is supplies for success. So this isn't your typical supplies you may need in law school like highlighters or post-it notes or things like that. I am Professor and Director of Academic Success, so these tools or supplies that I'm going to talk about today are things that I feel will contribute to your academic success as opposed to just helping you with your day-to-day work. The first of these is Black's Law Dictionary. It doesn't have to be Black's, but it does have to be a law dictionary. Not any old dictionary will do. It is very important that you look terms up, especially when you're starting your legal education. If you don't look terms up, you just won't get the full meaning of the text you're reading or have a deep enough understanding of the material that you're covering in a course. So this is a picture of Black's Law Dictionary as a book, but it also, of course, is available online. And it doesn't matter which one you have, the law dictionary that is, but it's important that you do have one. So that is the first supply that I recommend. Moving here to the next one, this is a picture of a whiteboard. This is something that many students discover for the first time in law school. I have students who swear that the whiteboard is the key to their success. You can use the whiteboard in so many different ways. You can use it to sketch out the interrelationships of legal concepts to one another, to look for the big picture in the course. You could write out answers to flashcards. You could write out practice exam answers. You can teach a mock course. If you really want to learn something, one of the great things you could do is teach it. I actually have a post on my blog in the roundup on lawschoolplaybook.com that I call Working the Whiteboard. So if you're looking for tips on how to use the whiteboard beyond this, go there, check it out. And I will also say that many study rooms and libraries have whiteboards you could use. Of course, the classrooms have them as well if you're able to work in an empty classroom. But I do recommend that you get a small one like this that you can have for home use. This little device here is as simple as it gets. It's an external timer. You can use a kitchen timer. I recommend timers like this because most of them you can make so that they don't make a loud noise if you're using them in the library. I usually give a couple of these away each academic year as prizes for various things. Why do you need an external timer when your phone has a timer? That's because your phone is a distraction. When students are struggling with productivity or staying focused, this is my number one recommendation. Get out a timer. Set a period of time. We're not talking 4 hours. We're talking 25 minutes, a half hour, 45 minutes. Those of you who listen to either my podcast, read my blog, or follow me here on YouTube, you'll know that I recommend the Pomodoro method, the Pomodoro technique, as one way to manage your time. This is a perfect thing to use for the Pomodoro technique because you're not needing to go to a website for a timer or, again, look at your phone. These are just a few bucks. You can get them at Target, anywhere like that, Walmart, but I think that that's a good investment. Okay, so down here we have my monthly planner. I am continually shocked from year to year as I come across students who say, well, I don't really keep a calendar, but I look at the syllabi. No, in law school, time is of the essence, and as you continue through your legal education, your schedule is going to get more and more busy. So it's really important that you have a calendar of some sort to keep track of all the various things you have going on, not only your school deadlines, but also, your activities and things like that. In terms of school deadlines, it really helps to write down at the beginning of the semester, okay, when are my legal writing assignments due? And then you could kind of schedule things around those. But if you're just relying on the syllabi in your courses, it's not until those things come up you plan around them. So I really recommend looking at least a week at a time, but I think best practices would probably say fill in as much as you can for the month and then change your schedule as necessary. So be flexible, but know what your hard deadlines are. So it doesn't matter if you have a paper calendar, it doesn't matter if you keep your calendar on your phone. The important thing is that you have a calendar. So if you are not a calendar person to date, please become a calendar person. It will ultimately help with your academic success. The next thing is just a little pouch, a little pencil case. type deal. There's nothing special about this one. Why I have it here is to represent that many students who find their phones distracting, which I think on some level we all do, use a pouch like this to put their phone in while they're studying, and as long as their phone is in there, they cannot check it. So find a place. It doesn't have to be a little pouch like this. It could be on your backpack, front pocket, something like that. But find a place that you are going to put your phone zipped up, snapped up, whatever it is, out of reach while you're studying, hopefully using your timer to get the most out of your time. These right here are just very, very basic earplugs. They're about $3. You can get a whole, I don't even think they're $3 actually. I think they're like less than $1. I think you can get a multi-pack for $3 at Lowe's, Home Depot. They're really meant for when you're working on construction sites and things and the noise is extremely loud. But studying legal concepts requires intense concentration. There are people who are able to do it to music and things. I've never been one of those people. Having earplugs when you're studying at law school, in the library, or even at home, if you have a family, if you have a roommate, if you have a noisy neighbor, they really can make a difference in terms of your concentration. So I would recommend, you don't need anything super fancy like noise canceling earphones, just these plain old earbuds will be fine. And a lot of times at law school, they have a place where they're giving them away for free as well. So you can look for that. And then lastly, I have here a yoga mat. You don't have to do yoga if you are not a yoga person, but it is symbolic to remind you that key to your academic success is taking care of your mind and your body. So getting enough sleep, making sure to have some exercise routine. So even if it's just a walk around the block with your dog or whatever it is for you, but find something that you do for yourself in law school. So the cliche is it's a marathon and not a sprint, but it's actually quite true. Law school, it's a long 3 years or 4 years for part-time students. And so you really have to take care of yourself to make sure that you're mentally able and physically able to stick with it over the long haul. So those are some supplies that I think can contribute to your success. If you have any questions, you could always contact me. If you need any additional information, you could always check out my website, www.lawschoolplaybook.com, or my podcast, which you could find on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, any of those. So thanks for hanging with me today. And just know, as always, you can do it and I'll be rooting for you.